Welcome to another Secret Influence TV interview. I'm very excited to have Paolo Dealberti, who is a futurist and a pioneer in resilient optimism. So, Paolo, perhaps to start, can you share what that means in practice and what's led you to sort of focus on this sort of vision, this aspect of your work?
Well, uh, Resilient Optimism is something different from the normal optimism. I mean, usually we are thinking of in terms of sustainability. I consider the sustainability without resilience is worth almost nothing. I mean, you can be sustainable, but if you are not able to face to support the real crisis, you crash like a house of cards. All your sustainability means nothing. So I describe it like the Fukushima Daiichi syndrome. We all remember the tragedy of the nuclear plant in Japan. This plant was sustainable. Ecological point of view was perfect, but it was not resilient. When they built up the plant, they forgot inside the specification to create a wall to protect the area for the emergency energy supply. They didn't do it because it was to increase the cost logically, and no one want to run for the tender what in. Then we had a tsunami. That wall was created to protect the reactor and survived. The energy system was not protected, flooded, no energy, and we had a tragedy. So sustainable from an ecological point of view, not resilient. Starting from that moment, I had the idea that we had to create something. I mean, we have to be optimistic. We have anything we need now in this world in terms of technology and in terms of human power, awareness about the need of peace and inclusivity, but we have to be resilient. That is all.
And I mean, you've got a lot of connections. You built up, a lot of connected people worldwide. And what have you learnt about sort of influence? Because with what you do, it's about influencing people to listen and share knowledge and inspire and influence people to listen. So what have you learnt from influence of being at the centre of such a sort of large perhaps network of people, global leaders?
I am extremely lucky because my network is more than 90,000 influential people, and they, let me say, they are all over in the world, not just that. It is quantitative dimension. Qualitative, I have people inside art, culture, intelligence, international organization, government, academy, and so far and so on. What I have learned is basically two things. The first one, that I am totally ignorant, and every day we are here to learn. The second one is that people, when you understand, when you're in front of you a leader, when this person is concerned about one basic thing, is aware, he or she is aware of his mandate, the reason because it's there, he was selected, and every moment, every day, as to herself or himself, I am respected, the trust that people have on me. That you find a real leader.
Sure.
That is the most important gift that I have every day.
And the world we live in is, I guess, is uncertain times as it always is. But many people feel sort of perhaps anxious about the future. With the climate change and the introduction of AI in economics. How can sort of resilient optimism help leaders and individuals navigate these uncertain times and challenges?
Well, we have to. One of the biggest problems that we have is that we make a big confusion. We misunderstand tomorrow with the future. We are living in a short-termism period. 3 months because you have the need to calculate your stock options. 6-8 months the next political turnover, and so far and so on. That is to think about tomorrow. It's not about the future. I find tragic and ridiculous at the same time that we have this dystopic vision of the world. Science, in the last 25 years, average each 5 years, we have lived a syndrome of an apocalypse. Let me say, we start with 2000, the millennium bug. 1st of June, January 2001, no computer. We back to Stone Age. We are here using a computer. It seems, I don't know. We are not using a bottle. It is will be more romantic message in a bottle. Then 9/11. It was we are all Americans. It was the end of the world. West was at the end. We are here. Then we had the financial crisis 2008. It is the apocalypse number 3. The number 4 was COVID 2019. Then 2022, artificial intelligence here. It seems that we are running fast into some kind of Terminator world where some days they control us. Well, if every 5 years we think that we are in front of us an apocalypse, and the only alternative, the only option that we have is a dystopic world, something doesn't work. So it's better that we stop, that we remember from where we are come from, that in the last 25 years, the only people that gain about this dystopic vision were, let me say, 2 kinds of people. The so-called gurus that come to us with a new web page. Hey, I have the idea, only my idea works, and I know the world. And that is okay, nice for their bank account, and we are lucky for them. And we are happy for them. But the consequence was the extremistic polarization of our politics. Now, we are not here to talk about facts, but to talk about subjective argument. I remember in 2009, an interesting report by Rand Corporation that just in 2009, it was 10 years before, so we are living around a generation where fact was nothing. I think that, you think that, but that means nothing. So stop. Tomorrow is not the future. Time is not running fast. We are making a big a big confusion. We are living in a big misunderstanding. Our time is not running fast. What is running fast? Is this?
Sure.
I mean, in the same amount of time, we are surrounded by input. Our car tell to us that we need gas oil. Our refrigerator tell to us that we need the new milk. We are connected with I don't know how many social networks and thousand messages. Then we are not running fast. Just we are not able to understand that we are not able to manage that we have too many inputs in the same moment. I come to this idea during 9/11. I had to fly from Munich to Milan. It was a last moment decision. It was not possible to find a flight. Then old-fashioned train, 12 hours, and people sent to me message about what the strategy.
Sure.
And then but I was living in a limbo, no computer, no email. Then I arrived at home, connect my computer, 5,000 emails. I was, oh gosh, and 95% were the same, almost the same message. Alert from New York Times, Washington Post, Le Monde, Le Figaro, the Zeitung. I mean, the biggest newspaper in the world. They inform me minute after minute about the same thing. And I realized on myself, no, it's not time running faster. It's that we are not able to select, to filter the input that we need for to go ahead. The day that we understand this little secret, we understand how time is today. Also because we have not forget that we are living, I mentioned it in my book, Deep Blue to Zero. We are living, our world is composed by different continents. One of them is a water continent that we will see in the next future, as I told in my book. And then also in my book, we have also the internet continent.
Sure.
Science more than 50 years with ARPANET, we are living with and inside the internet content. I describe it with analogies, physical, digital, and virtual world. That is our daily life. But it seems that we are losing connection with our reality.
Right. It's yes. I mean, I guess it leads to my next question, which is talking a bit about sort of development in certain aspects of technology, which is crypto and web. I think 5.0, some things you've talked about in some of the things you've written recently of your papers. So to talk about that, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you're leading initiatives in Cryptosphere 3.0 and Web 5.0. So for viewers who aren't familiar with that, could you explain briefly so what this means and why these things matter? Why should people be aware of these sort of developments?
We must consider that the crypto world is something relatively new from a technological point of view, thanks to something that we can describe as quantum computing.
Right.
Now we are living in a digital world that is ending, and we enter in a quantum world. Quantum computers are stronger, more performant, and our shield, our security system based on digital computer cannot survive an attack by a quantum computer. This is one of the reasons that I am happy to inform you that we launch is officially now the first stablecoin 2.0 in the world, Homocoin. It is with Bitmain, that is one of the leading company in the world about cyber computing and cyber security. For example, they made the cyber structure to protect the Bank of China.
Okay.
And our partner is also an important company in Madrid, because there is also the legal dimension. This company is blockchain arbitration chamber, BAX. So I want to thank Ignacio Ferre Bombos Hernandez, the president of BAX, and Amnon Samdi, the CEO and founder of BeMind. Because we have to avoid one or two, three misunderstandings. The first misunderstanding is that we have a big confusion. We have the crypto money. Crypto money is composed by cryptocurrency and crypto coin. Cryptocurrency is yen, dollar, is ruble, is sterling. I mean, money that is issued by a central bank.
Right.
Normally, this better because the technological infrastructure is better, because we have not naive management, because we have not the risk of fraud, we have not black laundering, and so far and so on. Then we have the second component, the coin. The coin is composed by any kind of coin. Bitcoin, okay, we think to Bitcoin, and then stable coin, and so far and so on. But what interesting, we think that the origin is something of anarchical, something created by an hacker, this famous Japanese hacker. It's totally wrong.
Right.
The first idea to create this kind of money was by a Sir, Nobel Prize, monetarist, if you want, a member of the establishment, that around 20 years before this famous Japanese hacker wrote a document and created the conceptual idea about an alternative form of money. That has to be faster, that has to be surest, that has to be less complicated. What we lived in the last years is that inside a sort of Wild West, we thought, oh, it's wonderful, not controlled by central bank, not controlled by government, not controlled by financial institution, banks and so far, not controlled by serious people. And then we have a lot of people that lost their money, we have a lot of black money, we have a lot of crisis, we have a lot of fraud. And now people want to go out from this Wild West and less energy and want to have more control. A form of control are the stable coin. The stable coin, you need a peg. Peg means that your money is your coin is linked to something. 98% is dollar, and this is also a political implication. We remember when Russia invaded Ukraine, it was the end of the West. In weeks, months, if not weeks, the Russian currency will replace the dollar. It was the end of the dollar, and blah, 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 blah. 90-80% of the stable coin have a peg in dollar.
Just to clarify, is it called a star buck? So I didn't quite catch the name of the coin. Could you just say the name of the coin again?
The coin will be our name. Our coin will be Homocoin.
Homocoin.
Homocoin because human coin, because it will be the first value integrated currency. Inside Homocoin is linked to a basic idea. Money remuneration is not just about the money that we gain to pay our bills.
Sure,
we make our job because we like it. We have some personal and social feedback. Then for the give of the energy and the smile to work every day, to wake up and to do something. So inside Homocoin, we have what I describe as the mercantile dimension. Let me say we pay our bills. Then we have the social dimension, is a civic currency that people have from their community. The community recognize that what are you doing is a nice job for your community, and we praise you. And then there is also an emotional dimension. Myself, I want to be proud. I want that my family is proud, that my friends are proud. These three components are inside Homocoin. And for this reason, I was thinking, and I was able, inside my book, Stablecoin 2.0, to create also an additional element, a new kind of crypto financial instrument, leverage bond. I am mixing the Islamic finance and the financial engineering. It's open to both Muslim and non-Muslim. What is the make different? According to artificial intelligence is something that doesn't exist in the world. This crypto bond, this financial instrument itself is structured in a way that when you buy it, at the same time your money is invested in a profit project that you know, but at the same time it's also invested in a no-profit project that you select.
Right.
And the Islamic dimension is that on the 2% that is not invested in profit, there you have not gained any kind of interest. But there is a way where at the end of the day, you can always gain. It's not just only emotionally because you support a no-profit, but also, for example, because you don't pay tax for that part where you don't receive back money in the form of interest. It's innovative, but it works.
With this, I mean, you've outlined, very clearly, I think, the benefits to this using the system. But do you think there's a lot of mistrust with some of these new developments of technology because of misunderstanding? Is that basically why people are reluctant to adopt it until it's been established a bit? Yeah,
I totally agree with you. One of the big problem that we at the core, one of the core of the Resilient Optimist is that we don't believe in the misunderstanding about information. Power is not information.
Sure.
Today, we have a lot of. It's just a matter of one click. We can know almost everything about anything. Yes, we know, but we don't understand. I mean, we don't need the skilled people. We need wise people. We don't need people that they know skilled. We know people that they understand wise. People that have something inside, soul, a vision. That we need people that can imagine, can have a vision, and that most of the misunderstandings that we have is that we are surrounded by information in a way that is not clear, by people that we don't trust. And maybe one of the big problem is that to explain a new concept, a new vision, we need also new words. Right. And we are lacking also a lot of new words to explain new idea.
Interesting. difficult to languish. The next question is about influence and how building influence is one of your strengths. And I think I've got this, and if I've got this right, but adding 60 plus leaders to your network each week, got that correct? So what's your approach to building meaningful connections rather than just collecting contacts? Because I think it's very easy just to connect to people and build a large network, but it's about having meaningful quality contacts that you can actually collaborate with, or you can have some sort of meaningful relationship. So what's your sort of do you have a specific approach to the way you build your network? And
to networking is something network is something easy and hard at the same time. First of thing, we have to be aware that we are ignorant, humble. We are here to listen. The strongest animal in the forest is the elephant, not because he's two-tone, because his ears are so big. He listens a lot before,
Sure.
and then he thinks 2, 3, 4 times. So for me, when I start to connect with someone, I wonder about words. I mean, we are living in a world where is again the difference between information, knowledge, and understanding. Word can be universal, but the meaning is always local.
Okay.
Local means the context where I am,
Sure.
that change. Any word, virus, 10 years, before COVID, virus means something. Basically, computer. No one of us think an epidemic today in the 21st century. Virus were computer. Now, okay. So change according to our evolution, and then we have also our personal meaning. We give to word from friends to love any word. So the first thing is to try to imagine, to understand the meaning of words for the person that you have in front of you.
Okay.
To find the right words, to open a connection, because to create networks is to contact. I want to talk to you, yes. To connect, to find a way, to share, to understand each other, and then we split or we go ahead. So my way to create a networking, I don't want to say influencing, but to say networking is first of all to let's imagine, to try to understand the meaning of the word for the people that I have in front of me. That means respect for their culture, for their tradition, for anything. I inside my strategic model, FutureProofFullness, I consider the geostrategic event composed by geoeconomics, geopolitics, geo-knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge is not just science, it's also legend.
Sure.
To understand the people, our legend, our culture, our mythology are most important, maybe than our statistic from the World Bank, with all the respect for the people inside the World Bank, of course. And then geoperception. Geoperception is this to understand nuances.
Sure.
We are not perfect, but we are made by nuances. And for example, for the first time in the world, inside a geostrategic model, is considered also our lifestyle. And I want to thank Dr. Hazem Salem Al-Damour, with whom this is one of the best specialists in the world about terrorism, and one of the most important and people in terms of understanding about Middle East, with whom and his company, his think tank, we will develop this tool to support companies and academics to manage crisis and options.
Okay.
So the point is, and the second big question that you have to put to yourself is, each problem has a solution, but each solution can generate a problem. Which interest are you affecting? Interest is not only my money, my career, it's deep inside. It's the belief of the person. I am offending this person, or I am just try to understand what she or he needs.
I think the next question is for Bilton about influence, and I think we so in a world that sometimes feels overloaded with information, we have social media and different channels and platforms, and so I wanted to ask you sort of about how perhaps you or we distinguish between what is sometimes authentic or positive influence and what can be some manipulative or perhaps I don't know, negative influence. Is it think it's a challenge? I think it's a good challenge, growing challenge for people. So we're bombarded, with messages and information. Is it an increasing challenge to distinguish between positive influence and
it's this problem. We are is again, if you want, it's again a dimension of quantity and speed. Logically, quantity when we reach some value is also quality. One way to this, if I am a good leader,
Sure.
if I want to make a fraud,
okay.
I want to sell something to you. No, it is a fraud. I need to tell something true. First element. Second, you want to believe that. We remember that around 1 century ago, someone wanted to sell the Eiffel Tower.
Sure.
People want to trust it was possible to buy so cheap this large amount of steel.
Sure.
Just one people was able to trick Al Capone, just because Al Capone wants someone to trust, surrounded by gangsters, by criminal. His deepest wish, I want to have a friend. That person understands this psychological dimension and was able to make a fraud. What does it mean? I think that in the Bible we can find the answer. I want to clarify, it's not about to be a believer or to believe God or the Christian God, but there is something really interesting. We know about Pontius Pilatus, that was the governor that had made the trial, if you want, against Jesus. Listen, the chef, the high priest of the temple of Jerusalem. And we know this famous sentence, I wash my hands. But before that, he told something most important. He asked to Jesus that according to this information, described himself as the Son of God. And so the chef of religion, he asked to both, not which is true, what is true.
Sure.
What true means that we want to believe. Then the best way to understand when fake news starts or ends, if you want, is to ask to yourself, what do we want to believe? And where to believe this kind of thing is a problem for us. Then we can start to, okay, back to COVID. Vaccine, no vaccine.
Sure.
Yes, be quiet. It's logical that we have side effect, but we were in emergency. So personally, I was my way to decide I was a yes vax. I made the vaccine. I was thinking to what happened in history. Around in 1972, President Ford was asked to President Ford to sign a document where the pharmaceutical industry were freed from any kind of consequences, because there was a problem of a pandemic flu that didn't come, and they tell, okay, we can create a vaccine in 6 months, but we don't know the side effect in 5 years. So you, President, sign a document where no one can make a class action and ask to us billions of dollars.
Sure.
President Ford, facing this emergency, okay, you have no alternative, sign it. When we had COVID, no pharmaceutical group asked to no one, President of USA, President of European Union, no one. They never asked this kind of document to be freed. So that thought to myself, maybe also because we have better technology, we are serious.
Sure.
And I accept the risk. I am aware that a lot of people have consequences, as you said. Maybe I have consequences also in the next 10 years. I don't know.
Sure.
But so, what do we want to believe? That is the first question. Then we start to understand where fake news exist because we want to have fake news.
Sure.
The question is why they have so big power? Because we don't trust. And the question is the biggest one. Why we don't trust our leadership?
It's an interesting question. I think in many ways our success is built on our ability to get people to trust us, and in our authority and in our expertise. And I think particularly for yourself, you're clear, clearly an expert in your area, but it must have that challenge of
Yeah,
technically
trust
you to
is
get
the key.
people to trust in your knowledge as being an authoritative expert. So it's interesting, as you
Yeah,
say.
trust is the key because you talk about the future. And now I decided, it's the second book that I have decided to create a new kind of book where I mixed like an essay, academic, I mean, and a novel. I was inspired by Tom Clancy and other big writers. I am not a good writer that created, if you want, Jan Fleming,
All right, yeah,
007.
sure.
Eh, okay, uh, the first person that explained to us what is a no-state actor, I mean,
Sure.
an entity that is not a state, is Jan Fleming. The first enemy, James Bond enemy, were not Russia, Soviet Union, or China, was Spectra,
Yes,
a global mafia.
sure.
But it was 50 years ago,
Sure.
and Jan Fleming was I am 16 agent.
All
He
right.
was not an inspired writer. He was a person with skill inside the M16. I mean, one of the top organization in the world.
Sure.
And then, and we must ask to ourselves, 50 years ago, during the Third World War, or First Cold War, if you want, the biggest enemy for James Bond was the first biggest enemy was not USSR or China or the communists in Cuba. No, was a big international mafia called Spectra.
Right. Yes, of course.
You know
It's
what
all based on truth.
that is?
Just sort of following on that, talking about that, going slightly different to a more personal. Do you enjoy like books like that? Do you enjoy creatively? Do you enjoy reading literature? Obviously, you read a lot of um, factual, reports and a lot of analytical information. Do you enjoy reading sort of fiction in that sense as well? Is
Yes,
that something that
yes.
interests you? Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be open because music, fiction, culture
Sure.
is told us is the key of geo perception. Our world, maybe to look around, see the people are dressed, or the music, or what they want to eat, or something like this, tell to us much more. I suggest to any one of us when we arrive in our very nice hotel, we fly in our very nice jet, but we are living in a hub where we are living in a limbo.
Sure.
The jet are the same, the hotels are the same, the watch, the TV,
Bubble.
our TV is the same channel.
Sure.
Stop, stop. Take your normal jacket, go around, look the people how they dress, how the money that they have, what they want to buy, how they'll serve. Personally, I love to take one day each month just to shut off my computers, my mobile, and so and look around the people how they dress, where they go to drink, what they want to buy. Go to the normal shop. So you have to be open and. Music are the modern poems, if you wanna. Everything can teach to us about us, and
What's your favourite music? Do you have a particular
well, all but hard rock,
Okay.
just because I don't understand hard rock.
Sure.
Only that is the reason. But I love anything. It's not a problem.
Okay. Talking a bit about your, well, want to say actually, yeah, talk about your writings. Your, where do you, if someone's interested in what you've been saying and they want to go and deep dive a bit more deeper into what some of the topics you've talked about, where do you share your writing? So where would people, where would the best place for people to find out a bit more about some of the topics you said you talked about?
Oh, thank you for this question. But I have two ways to share my. The first way is I send to around to create. I want to create awareness inside elite, but not because I am an elitist people, just because that helps to me to receive back from people there
Sure.
at the pulse of the world. So when I created one book, I send it to around 20,000 people in the world. I wait around 5 6 months to receive feedback. Then all my books are available in Amazon, and I consider that to be available, price money must not be a
Sure.
barrier.
All right.
So I try to create a real example of democratic publishing. The price of the book is just the price to cover the cost in
Sure.
Amazon, and I use self-publishing in Amazon because it's a used cost.
Of course.
And I am using electronic book, I mean Kindle ebooks, in order to find the best ecological way to produce. I
Okay.
know that the store to produce, they need to store somewhere, and the server, the computer, they all create pollution. But at least I save a forest and save additional CO2 production.
I like it.
And then
That makes
in
sense.
Amazon, you will find all, I don't want to say free, just to cover the
Sure.
cost to produce it. No more and no less.
Okay. And following that, do you just have interest? Do you, as well as writing about these subjects, do you talk at events? Do you talk? Do you, are you yeah? Do you talk at events? Because obviously one way, when you're an expert in a subject as well as writing about it, is that something you do much? Do you speak on events?
I try to, my idea is, well, as I told, I try to write down book that are serious like an essay, but I want to be boring like an essay. If not, it's only just 100 people in the world,
Sure.
maybe less will read
Yeah.
it. So I use the way to a novel, and I let my character. Now I
Sure.
will start in January. I will start a new website. It will be a
Okay.
place to find also my idea, ProsumerZen. And my idea is to create a newsletter, and
Okay.
the people that will sign the article
Sure.
are the character inside my books. They don't
Okay.
exist, are fictional, but they are the name of the people that are inside my books. So that is a way to express. Then I consider that we are in a world that is complex, and we can find problem as well solution only in one dimension.
Sure.
So my books, I try to give a holistic vision. For example, the first book, Pax Criminalis, the problem was to fight the Pax Criminalis, what is the transnational organized crime that force us, it's imposed to the control in our society.
Sure.
It happens in a lot of countries,
Right.
from downtown London to downtown Milano to anywhere in the world. And then I have supposed, why don't create some kind of reaction? Because I was looking around, I discussed it with a lot of people inside Interpol, inside the secret services, inside intelligence unit, and they said to me, it's incredible. Today, we are not able how to define what is international crime. So
Right.
let's imagine that you are a judge. I want to track me
Sure.
and to accuse Paolo about international. And okay, and then I have an army of lawyers. They come to you, sir. What is international crime? Oh gosh, nice question.
Yeah.
Nice question. Then we have not out behind the law. We are inside the law. So my idea was, okay, why don't we create some kind of partnership? We use private security forces, intelligent forces. We set high standard, ethical standard, operative standards, like for example that issued by the Swiss government,
Mm.
and they are the control of Interpol, of United Nations. So Pax Criminalis was to explain it, and for that the novel was a story. They
Okay.
go to Dubai, they take something, and
Right.
then they find it. Then it was Deep Blue 2.0, where I am describing the idea that we are facing a new world where we have new continent, the internet continent, the water continent, the suborbital continent, and then the space continent, the moon and Mars. So my approach is that to try to describe global.
Right. Yeah.
In the next one, it will be geo-strategy mercantilism, thalassocracy 2.21, and there I will make some nice surprises. Okay. Point one is it will be a meeting with the most important actors in the world.
Okay.
That it will be China, India, European Union, Japan, United Kingdom, USA.
Right.
When we talk about country, not Russia, because Russia, if we don't consider 7,000 nukes, Russia is the only power asset that they have to be considered a power.
Okay.
Their economy is catastrophic. They weren't not able to change. And we have an example, for example, Saudi Arabia and Emirates. They were able to transform from a commodity-based economy to we see what is now running in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, or in Abu Dhabi. Okay, then these people try to find some kind of to discuss, to understand the way to find an agreement, because we have to control situation like the organized crime. But one idea is the United States. In the United States, we have the company, the personality Hollywood. What does it mean? In around 150 years, we have a lot of sentences. Thanks to that, a company have also a personality. That maybe helps. That maybe helps Asimov, the Bicentennial Man. We remember this fantastic book. It inspired me logically. And that person that after 200 years transformed himself from a robot to a human being. That it was possible because this person owns the right and gained the money for his idea.
Okay.
Now, my idea, using the existing American law about the personhood, the legal personhood that have the company that exists here and now, we can find just in the United States. Why not the same for an artificial intelligence? So the artificial intelligence will sit in this table along with these countries that I mentioned, and they will be the owner of their idea. And they will gain from what they produce.
Sure.
Because the existing American law gives to you this chance. Logically, it's not so automatic, but I am more than sure that if you have the right army of lawyers and you will start a trial like that made in the Bicentennial Man in Asimov, and let's imagine that one day one artificial intelligence can do it and convince talking to lawyers, help me, it will be possible. Because in the United States, you have this legal form, this unique, come from the American tradition. And will be in the book.
I guess that's what we see to some extent, isn't it? But a lot of ideas that start in science fiction, do end up becoming science fact. Paolo, it's what I think. I feel like we could talk, for hours. Because there's so many things you've touched upon, and it is fascinating. And I think I'll have to perhaps get you on the show to talk again. So, just to fill round up, is someone? What perhaps would you give as a final thoughts or advice? Someone in wanting to become more, have more resilient optimism, to be better able to adapt and with a change that's taking place, and to take advantage of these opportunities. What final you can find a bit of advice or final thoughts wraps up?
We'll never made a confusion between value and cost. An Arab, according to an Arab proverb, everything that has a cost worth nothing because you can buy.
Sure.
What a value you cannot buy.
Right.
So stop. Consider that your most important is not money, is time.
Right.
Don't consider. I want to buy this. Okay, for example,
Sure.
don't consider that it costs 10, but start to think in a different way. This costs to me 1 hour. This hour I take off from my family, my friends, my loving people, my hobbies, everything. Worth is 1 hour. That is more than $10, pounds, everything. So never make a confusion between cost and value.
Right.
And always we must remember Salvador Dali. We miss the future.
Mr. Vaden. I love it.
Future is here, and we create the future.
Fantastic. Good last words to understand the difference between cost and value and the feeling is here. So, Paolo, thank you for your time and
Thank you.
for sharing your insights and your expertise and your knowledge of us.